probably one of the biggest games that people are anticipating for this year of 2024 is a little game called Black Myth Wukong. And this game has actually been announced way back in like 2020. And at first, everyone thought this was basically like an Unreal tech demo, right? You know, those trailers you see that are too good to be true, and then the game releases and it looks absolutely nothing like that. Well, over the years, the game actually got moved over from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5. It took a lot of time to get made and everything, and now it is finally upon us. And as of the time of this recording, the PC reviews are out for Black Myth Wukong. And as you can currently see on screen right here, it is sitting at a much reasonable 82. You know what? For a first-time game made by Game Science, that's a very respectable score. And we're going to go through some of the opinions that we've seen online and everything, through some of the reviews. But overall, this game is looking to actually promise what it was promising, essentially. However, to be frank here, though, all these reviews, like I said before, are PC only, which means that if you are somebody who wants to play this on PlayStation or eventually Xbox when it's released, do not pre-order this game right now. You need to wait until those reviews come out, because it could be a very similar situation that we saw with a little game called Cyberpunk 2077, where that game, God, what is the best way to describe PlayStation 4 and Xbox One Cyberpunk? Editors, show them what we had to deal with back in the days.
Oh shit, this game is fucking broken.
So yeah, that's essentially what we had to deal with. And so I don't want to say it's gonna be that bad. We haven't seen anything from console. We've seen nothing but PC, essentially. Which, again, to be fair, by the way, if you haven't done it already, you can actually go over to Steam. There is a Black Myth Wukong, like, kind of test demo, essentially, where it's not playing the game, but it does test your PC. If you see this little screenshot up on screen right now, this is what I got personally with: a 10900K, a 3080 graphics card, and 32 gigabytes of RAM. So overall, not terrible or anything like that. I unfortunately can't do anything like the upscaling tech that you get to see in the 40 series cards or anything with the AMD equivalent. I do know I can use AMD's open source upscaling, but again, at this particular moment, I just simply did raw performance. What could my PC do at that time? So overall, it's not bad. As long for an action game, as long as I can hit over 60 FPS, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not trying to hit 4K. I'm going 1440p. I don't need anti-aliasing on or anything like that. And plus, I know this is an Unreal 5 engine game. It's definitely made to take advantage of the latest hardware, so I'm not expecting 120 FPS, 4K or anything like that. But in reality, though, I mean, again, this game is looking pretty good. Most of the scores are anything around, 93 to 80 to 75, as you currently see right here as the latest critic reviews. If we go over here and we click on based on all of the reviews and everything, if you want to go in here and check out all of these, obviously you're going to have anyone giving it 100, because just like anything, all reviews, no matter what it comes to a game, your top ones are going to be the hundreds, the people who fanboy out about it, essentially. And then at the bottom, you're going to have the people giving the most ridiculous reviews, sometimes saying like, we have to give this game a 2 out of 5 or a 2 out of 10 because it didn't include insert thing here, essentially, like that, right? So, you can always ignore those reviews. Particularly, I myself personally like to look at things that kind of give it either between, I'd say between 95 to 70 or maybe even 6, unless the majority of the reviews are saying this game is garbage overall. But when you see that the score is hitting around 82, then I like to look kind of in the middle, essentially, right? So one, for example, right here is from Hardcore Gamer. It says, just as a kind of brief summary, states that Black Myth Wukong took us by surprise. It had a lot of potential from its initial reveal, but what Game Science has been able to create is nothing short of greatness. This is a visual treat that brings ancient China and Chinese mythology to life like never before, crafting a story that, while somewhat vague, will compel you to progress. And if you obviously want to click on it more, it will talk about whether, they go into detail about combat and everything, which is always really good. Say too well about them. One of the biggest people is obviously IGN's review. IGN basically gave it an 8 out of 10, stating that it has really cool combat. The world itself is really cool, whether it's from the mountains, the deserts, the forests, you name it. But they do mention that they had some technical issues, especially going later on into the game. So obviously go check that out. And for anyone who wants to potentially get this on console, like I said beforehand, wait until those console reviews come out, because all of these reviews right here sound like a broken record. They are only for the PC, which means the console could either be really good, or really bad. When you use Cyberpunk, even though you're in a great spot right now, that game should not have been out on the previous gen consoles or anything like that. One person I personally love when it comes to looking at reviews and everything is actually going to be both Gaming Bolt, but then also one that I truly love is going to be Game Ranks. Game Ranks always has great reviews when it comes to these videos because it's not just simply giving you a review. It's simply a before you buy. And again, shout out to them. Full credit goes to them and everything. Go check out the video out and everything. But all of their stuff, especially from Jake Baldino, who's the head of Game Ranks over there, he just kind of, he just gives you raw impressions and everything, which I always find to be really cool. Saying things like the gameplay is obviously really fun, the world looks really beautiful and everything, the performance can be hit or miss. He didn't have nearly as many bugs or issues when it comes to the performance as someone like over at IGN or someone over at VGC or anything like that. So as always, take it with a grain of salt. Always check out multiple reviews and everything. But Lemon, I want to ask you now, joined by us always is our guest Lemon here on the Direct channel. What are your personal thoughts when it came to seeing the reviews for Black Myth Wukong? Are you going to pick this up right away? Are you going to wait for a sale or anything? What are your personal thoughts?
Sale. I have too many other games to play. I'm also very concerned, as you mentioned, about Cyberpunk. I think this is kind of trending that same way. Why they're being so cagey? Well, I'm not saying it's not only them being cagey bad, it's more just it's very conspicuous. It's all PC. Not one person's talked about consoles. So why? Has there been any news about why it's all been PC?
According to Graythorn in our chat right now, which by the way, great little statement right here. He says Black Myth Wukong has a new gameplay clip on PS5. So I'm actually going to look that up as you continue to give me your answer.
I mean, that to me is a humongous red flag. I mean, the game could be good, but if it doesn't run, why would I want to pay, put money towards it? And kind of going alongside that, I'm still flabbergasted as to why you would put a game out physically but not include a disc. Unless the game is too big to put on a disc, I don't know why you would do that. It just seems the only thing I can think of is playing into my concern about how well the game runs. If that was the case, then they would never have a quote unquote broken game, for lack of a better phrase, on disc. Prior to a day one patch. That seems really weird to me. Like, I don't know, I'm getting a lot of weird, mixed signals from this. I hope it's gonna be good. I want it to be good. I like another game to play, but it's definitely, like you said, wait and see. I'm definitely gonna be waiting.
The latest thing I can find when it comes to anything in terms of PS5 is that last trailer that they posted over 9 days ago. But again, it's a more cinematic trailer. They do show off gameplay and everything, but again, they do the typical thing where they hide the UI and everything like that, which obviously every company and their mother hides UI when it comes to showing off trailers and everything. But that's the only thing that we've seen. So does the game actually run like that? Hard to say, right? Could Game Science have sent PlayStation this clip to then upload, but in reality it's a PC run version? Yeah, easily could have done that. Is it actual PlayStation 5 gameplay? Yeah, it easily could be too. But we just simply don't know, which is why I have to constantly tell people, look, do not pre-order this game. Wait until the reviews for the console come out. If they're sitting around the same score as the PC version and saying, look, if you played in 4K 30 FPS, you get exactly what you expect. But, the best way to play it is 1440p 60 because, obviously this is an action game. You need those frames and everything like that. And if people say, kind of the same thing where it's like, no, the game plays really well and everything. Yeah, you got some graphical hiccups here and there. Then, by all means, buy away, play it and everything. I personally am looking really forward to this game because it's definitely a boss-style rush with some open areas essentially, which I'm all for. I definitely like that. It's more linear. Okay, I'm personally fine with that. But I'm not, going full fanboy here saying like, oh yeah, no, just blindly, pre-order this and everything. No, the whole point of when these reviews dropped today at the time of this recording, I wanted to see how the console version ran because I figured the PC was either gonna be one of two things. Either PC was, gonna actually be somewhat fine, especially once I saw the Steam testing that you can download and everything, and I was getting around 70 to 90 frames give or take at 1440p. I was like, okay, yeah, fine, PC can play it no problem for the most part. Obviously if you're, I guess, trying to run an i3 with a 10 or 970 GPU, yeah, no duh, you're not gonna be able to run this. So sorry, Lemon, you can't play the game because I know you run that type of machine. But again, how is it going to run on the console? Because we've also seen, if you guys remember, that this game was delayed on the Xbox Series X and the Series S. Now, we've gone over this in another video and everything, saying that, look, it's most likely due to the fact that they have to release it on the S as well. The S has less RAM, VRAM, that all stuff, right? Again, we know people are going to come in and try to defend certain consoles and everything. We don't give two craps about that. Bottom line, especially with the way the engine that they're using in this game, and we've seen with the graphical fidelity and everything, there is no way that the S is going to be able to handle this. And now that we still don't have console, aka the PS5 reviews yet, if this runs like crap on the PS5, which means it would also then run crap on the Series X, I can only imagine the Series S is going to be literally on fire in your living room. So again, we need to just simply wait and see what's going to happen with the console versions. I really do hope this game works really well on the console, and that means that the Xbox Series X version is safe, and then simply that means that the S was the reason for the delay. If the PlayStation 5 version runs like crap, then that definitely, I guess, is a very good thing it was delayed on both the X and the S. And I really wish the PS5 version had been delayed as well. But again, hopefully Sony, because they have mentioned that they've worked with Sony and everything like that, along with Microsoft. Hopefully Sony would be smart enough to be like, yeah, this game actually does run, especially when you had something like Cyberpunk 2077, where Sony themselves actually took the game off of the store, which is very rare for Sony to do. They're also giving refunds to it, which Sony almost never does. So they're probably trying to avoid something like that going forward, would be my guess. So if this game, unfortunately, again, we haven't seen any reviews, but here's the hope that it does work really well on the consoles. PC, obviously, again, we saw the impressions that it is looking to be a solid 84. Again, most reviews are around the 80s. You got some 70s, you got some 90s, typical stuff right there. I am curious what the lowest score is. If you can look beyond some janky fights and want to experience a unique setting, then it's fun. It's some fun to be had here. That's actually really good. The Sixth Axis gave it a 60. It says it's a stunning game to look at, but the exploration is lacking, and the fighting is sort of fine for the most part. It's a bit uninspiring, and it is a game that I'm expecting to stick with me for any length of time now that I'm done with it. All right, that's a fair review and everything. Game Rant here says, which I know a lot of people have been quoting. They said something about diversity or something like that. Like a lot of people were quoting something about diversity on one of their reviews or something like that, and I'm like, it's a game based on Chinese mythology, and every single character in the game is an animal. So, not trying to get in.
There's like a lack of diversity.
Yeah, it's like a lack of diversity. And I'm like, okay.
It sounds like a Polygon review.
I'm just like, what? Like, okay, sure, yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay, it was Screen Rant. Sorry, not Game Rant. It was Screen Rant. So, given most of its shortcomings lie in the performance, diversity, and wasted environment factors that would have transformed it into something great. Okay, I guess with diversity, sure. Again, all animals based off Chinese mythology. Sure.
Well, it might be diversity of environment too, though.
That could be, yeah. If it's diversity of environment, then sure. But if it's talking about diversity in terms of characters and everything, then
that's a bit of a weird one.
That's a weird take. I'll just say that right there. So. Yeah. So yeah, again, we'll have to wait and see. So, but overall, looks like a solid game. I'm definitely be picking it up though, because I need to cover it here on the channel. But don't do the same thing I do. Wait for more reviews to come out. Wait to see how the console performs and everything like that, and then decide how to spend your money. Do all the research you need to and everything. You're not missing out on, a digital version of the game or anything like that. Like you can literally buy it whenever you want. So, but with that being said though, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, because this definitely looks like an interesting game. Lemon, I know you'll pick it up later on sale. Bobby, I'm not really sure when you're going to pick it up, but regardless, here's hoping.